This is the top 5 best loadouts for Modern Warfare 2 Season 1 Reloaded, and we're going to start out with the one that everyone wants, which is the Chimera. Now, everybody wants to try this gun out, but nobody knows the best build for it, and it's not even the build that you would really expect. We're going to start out with the Polar Fire S, and this increases the sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. Now, you get a reduction of aim down sight speed and aiming stability, but trust me, this is very much worth it. Put on the 10-inch SA Phoenix for the damage range, bullet velocity, hip fire accuracy, and recoil control. You get a reduction of aim down sight speed, hip recoil control, and movement speed. But this is the reason that you're actually able to have a muzzle in the first place, the barrel. Without the 10-inch SA Phoenix, you're not going to be able to have the Polar Fire S, and this is the dynamic duo right here. You do not want to have the suppressor that it starts out with, just because it doesn't really provide many benefits other than actual sound suppression. Put on the 45-round mag, a D37 grip for the recoil control, a slight reduction of aiming stability, and last but not least, the TRX 56 stock. Now, this increases the aiming stability and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed, crouch movement speed, aim walking speed, and sprint speed. Now, just show you guys how awesome this is. And check this out. Short range, insane. Medium range, and long range. Absolutely fantastic. You guys have to use this. Just at the fact that it kills so incredibly fast, and the recoil is so easy to control. You don't even have to get crouched. Like, as you guys see, I'm standing right up, and it melts super quick. I highly recommend using this gun. Next, we're moving on to the M4, and this weapon is so amazing. You guys have to use it. So, I put on the high tower 20-inch barrel, and we tuned it to increase the damage range by 0.21 inches and the weight by 0.31 pounds. This increases the bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and hip fire accuracy, a reduction of aim down sight speed and movement speed, along with hip recoil control, but that doesn't matter. We're going to put on Schlager Peck Box for the aim down sight speed increase, the Demo Precision Elite Factory Stock. It increases the aiming stability and recoil control. You get a reduction of aim down sight speed, crouch movement speed, aim walking speed, and sprint speed. Increase the aiming out of stability of a 1.08. Put on the Demo Precision Elite Factory Stock. This increases the aiming stability and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed, crouch movement speed, aim walking speed, and sprint speed. Increase the length by 1.08 inches, and I didn't change the weight. Put on the X10 grip. I increased the sprint to fire speed by 0.10 inches, well, negative 0.10 inches. And then the recoil steadiness I increased by 0.23 ounces. Put on the 45-round mag, and just show you guys how awesome this gun is. Get right into the firing range. Absolutely melts. Absolutely melts. And long range, basically no recoil. It pretty much has to do it aiming at that point. So if you're able to control your aim pretty well, you would do pretty well to actually use this gun. Next, we're moving on to the Lockman sub, and this is a very competitive, strong Lockman sub to actually have. So we're going to use the AVR T90 comp. This increases the horizontal and vertical recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed and aiming stability. We're going to take care of that. I increased the recoil stabilization by 0.23 ounces, and the F-Tech M sub, I tuned it. It increases the bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and hip fire accuracy. I increased the damage range by 0.31 inches and 0.19 pounds for recoil steadiness. Put on the LM stockless mod for aim down sight speed increase, sprint to fire speed increase, movement speed increase, and hip recoil control increase at the cost of aiming recoil control, aiming stability, and flinch resistance. Now, if you don't want to deal with this, you can use the Mirror Recoil 56 factory stock for aiming stability, recoil control, and sprint speed at the cost of aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, and crouch movement speed. But this is the build that I want to use. Lockman TCG10. This increases the recoil control, so I increased the sprint to fire speed by negative 0.16 inches. And then this part, the weight is just not really worth tuning. I just tuned it slightly, but you don't even need to do that. And I put on the 40-round mag, and just show you guys how amazing this is. Short range, fantastic. Long range is where it gets dicey, just because it bounces like crazy. So in my opinion, you shouldn't even worry about using this long range. You should really just be worrying about using this short to mid. It'll definitely get the job done short to mid range, but if you're in long range, I would highly recommend, like any SMG, just closing the distance. So moving on to the TAC 56, and this gun is so amazing. I highly recommend not using this one, but highly recommend using the 17.5 Tundra Pro barrel for the damage range, hip fire accuracy, and bullet velocity. You get a reduction of aim down sight speed, but trust me, it's worth it. At this point, you can use the F-Tac Ripper if you want to. I mean, it's not really necessary, but you can use this just for more recoil control. And at this point, we would just increase the aiming out of stability a little bit, probably somewhere around like right 20, and then recoil stabilization, you put it right around 30. You put the magazine to 40, just because 60 is kind of unnecessary. If you want to use a laser, you can, but I really don't think it's necessary. I would use most likely the TV Cardinal stock for aim walking speed and sprint speed at the cost of aiming stability. Now, if you want to fix the aiming out stability a little bit, you can just move it slightly, probably around like the 40 range. And then at that point, you can leave the rest alone. And then for the rear grip, you can put on the FSS combat grip if you want more recoil control, but demo clean shot if you want to have better sprint to fire aim down sight speed, but it's going to cost recoil control. In this case, we're going to use the FSS combat grip. Probably increase the sprint to fire speed a tiny bit, probably around 0.13, and recoil steadiness, we're going to increase that at around 0.20, and just show you guys how awesome this gun is. Getting right into the battlefield. This thing has literally no recoil, so please use this gun. This is something that you're going to absolutely go off with, and you don't even have to try. Like, I'm barely moving my thumbstick, and you guys see it completely melts the enemy. Last but not least, we're moving on to one of my personal favorites for overall gameplay, which is the Castoff 74U. Now, the Castoff 74U, I would highly recommend using the Echoless 80 for the sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness at the cost of aim down sight speed and aiming stability. There's not really a better option other than just not using a muzzle or a barrel. Using the Schlager Peck box for the aim down sight speed, 45 round mag, just because I want as many bullets as possible in this gun. You can keep it at 30 and then you won't have any cons, but in this case, I just like having as many bullets as possible. Demo X2 grip for the recoil control, and then we tuned it to almost max out the sprint to fire speed. This is really the best it'll do, 0.25 inches, and then 0.29 ounces increases the recoil steadiness, and then the Otrizat stock increases the aim walking speed and sprint speed. And we increased the aiming stability of 0.08 inches, and then we didn't change the weight. And just to show you guys how awesome this is a pretty much overall fantastic weapon. Like, you can have this as an SMG or you can have it as an AR. So whichever one you want to use it as, completely up to you. But I think this is a fantastic build, and I highly recommend trying this out, especially if you're somebody that's not sure if you want to use an SMG or AR. This has a great mobility and has great range, so please try it out and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Now, just as a bonus, this is something that not many people really pay attention to, but I gotta give you guys the best secondary overall. That's the P890. Yes, this pistol right here is the best secondary, just because for the most part, it only takes 2 bullets to kill. So I put on the Matuzek Cottonmouth barrel for the bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, and hip fire accuracy. You get a reduction of aim down sight speed and movement speed and hip recoil control, but trust me, this is the best choice overall. I don't recommend these other ones just because they don't help as much as this one. Put on the Brune Express for the fire rate. You get a reduction of sprint to fire speed and aiming out stability, but it's already a pistol. You're going to be moving extremely fast in the first place. I don't really think you need this just because, I mean, it helps with sprint to fire speed and weapon swap speed, but do you really need that if you're going to be switching to this and using it to its maximum efficiency? You want good fire rate. I put on 10 round mag. You can use 12, but you're going to get less movement, aim down sight speed, reload speed, or sprint to fire speed. Completely up to you. I mean, it doesn't matter either way, but in this scenario, I'm going to just use 10. And then the FJX DIOD 70 for the aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and sprint to fire speed to take care of all the issues from previous. And you get laser visible and ADS. But just to show you guys have to see this. Is 2 bullets short range, 3 bullets mid range, 4 bullets long range, 4 bullets long range, 2 short range, 3 mid range. Please use this.